Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. Welcome to our deep stretch session today. I am going to get our music going, and we are going to start on the ground, and we're going to stay on the ground today. So, we're going to start on all fours. So, go ahead and get into your tabletop position on your hands and your knees. And from your tabletop position, you start with your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and start with a nice flat back and your head in line with your spine. And we'll take an inhale and we'll flow into a cat-cow. So on your inhale, go ahead and take a deep breath. On your exhale, arch your spine to the sky, tuck your chin to your chest, and push through the palms. And on your exhale, go ahead and dip your belly low, roll your shoulders down and back, nose forward, and continue to flow through your cat and cow. Cat is arching your spine to the sky, tucking your chin to your chest. Cow is belly low, collarbone wide, nose forward. Just going through with your breath at the same pace that you breathe. So every exhale, your spine goes up. Every inhale, your belly goes low. Just getting some spine mobility, maybe some movement through the shoulders, the chest, the back. Opening up through the core a little bit. Flowing at your pace. And if you'd like, start to add a little bit of movement here. So you can wiggle your hips side to side. You can shift your weight forward and back. Kind of speak to whatever your body is needing. Move around a little bit to find if there are any tight areas, and maybe you just flow through those a little bit. Still keeping it mobile, still keeping moving, just with a little bit of intention. Again, syncing up with your breath. Exhaling in cat, spine up, and inhaling with cow, belly down. When we inhale with cow and our belly down, because that really opens up our lungs, and we exhale as we pull our spine to the ceiling because we are crunching through the front side of our body, helping us release that air through the lungs. Wherever you're at, you can stay there, or you can add some hip circles. So you can shift your weight a little bit forward, let your hips roll to the left, shift your weight back, let your hips roll to the right. Or you can stick with doing your movement and whatever's going to feel good in your body, as goes with everything that will follow today. If you are doing some sort of hip circle, whatever that means to you, and you want to switch directions, I'm switching directions now. Just getting a little movement through the hips, getting those involved here. And when you're ready, come back to your flat back, your neutral spine, and we'll come to a seated position. And you can be in whatever seated position makes sense for you. For me, that's cross-legged, but for you, it can be something else. And your left hand is going to go down by your side, and we're going to do some side body stretches. So right hand is going to reach out to the side and up over the head, and reach up and over to the left to elongate through the right side of the body. And then we're going to release that and switch sides. So right hand will go down by the side, left hand reaches up and over to the right, and releasing. So again, keeping this dynamic, keeping it mobile. So we're still waking up the muscles as we stretch them, getting some blood flow into them so that they're ready for the deeper stretches that we'll hold later. And again, you can flow with your breath here if you'd like. Exhaling to reach, inhaling to release. Taking it at your pace, moving with your breath. Choosing your range of motion, how far you want to reach up and over. when you're ready, make sure you even out. If you started on the right side, finish on the left and shake it out. Let your arms hang down. We're going to come to some slow seated twists. So again, whatever seated position is going to work for you. Because my legs are cross-legged, I'm going to use my leg as a prop here, and I'll take my left hand and reach it to the outside of my right thigh as I twist my chest to the right. Maybe my right hand reaches behind you on the ground to get that chest to open right, and then you'll unwind and you'll switch sides. So my right hand will come to the outside of my left thigh, twist my chest to the left as left hand supports me by putting it on the ground behind my back, and just rotating between this. Exhaling to twist, inhaling to come back through center. Trying to sit tall as you come through center, opening your chest to the side. Important that this is really slow and controlled here to allow that stretch to happen without overstretching before we're ready for it, without adding any jerking or abrasive movements, but slow, intentional, moving with the breath. And when you're ready, make sure you evened out on both sides. If you started twisting to the right, finish twisting to the left and shake it out. You can stay in whatever seated position works for you here, and we're going to take it to shoulder circles. So you're going to shrug your shoulders up towards your ears, let your shoulders drop backwards, drop them down as far as they can go, and then push them forwards before you repeat the cycle. Up, back, down, and forward. With these shoulder circles, you're taking it within your range of motion, and I want you to focus on releasing the stress through the back of the neck, back of the shoulder blades. A lot of times when we're stressed or when we're cold or we're sitting for a long time, those are the muscles that we tense up first. So we're loosening those up here a little bit. Again, taking this at your pace. And if you'd like, we can reverse our direction. So shoulders will go up towards the ears, then they'll come forward, drop down, and then reach back. Your hands can be resting on your lap here. They can be by your sides. As you get mobility through the shoulder joint here, releasing any tension through those muscles surrounding the neck, the upper back. And go ahead and relax your shoulders. We're going to take some gentle stretches through the neck side to side here. So keep your shoulders down and relaxed. And right ear is just going to tilt and tip towards the right shoulder. Come back through center. Left ear tips towards the left shoulder. Come back through center. Moving at your own pace. Shoulders stay relaxed the entire time. It's the head tilting side to side to get a little bit of mobility through the sides of the neck. Taking it at your pace, choosing your range of motion. Maybe your head only tilts an inch or so. Keeping those shoulders relaxed and down is going to help increase the stretch, and it also lets the shoulders feel nice and relaxed after we just open them up a bit. And when you're ready, you can shake that out. We're going to extend our legs long in front of us. So if you were cross-legged or in another seated position, extend your legs nice and long in front of you. Legs are as straight as you can get them, and you're sitting tall. From here, I just want you to flex your feet, so pull your toes towards you, and then I want you to point your toes away from you. Flexing and pointing the toes. This is the entire movement. You don't need to reach forward. You can sit nice and tall as you flex your feet and point your toes. waking up the backs of the legs, ankle mobility. Maybe try to find your good posture, keep those shoulders relaxed. Core is helping you sit up tall, lengthening through the spine as the head reaches for the ceiling and your toes flex and point. And when you're ready, you can keep your toes flexed or pointed, whatever's going to feel good for you. Sitting nice and tall. Start with your hands by your sides. You're going to inhale as you reach your hands out to the side and up over the head. And you're going to exhale into your forward fold. Reach your fingers towards your toes. And then when you inhale, you're going to release that forward fold a little bit. Maybe slide your hands to your knees or your thighs. And then you exhale, you're going to reach those hands back to your toes. Inhale, hands come towards the knees or thighs, sitting up straighter. Exhale, reaching towards your toes, your shins, your ankles. And flow through this with your breath. Inhaling to lift, exhaling to reach. With your breath cycle, hands just sliding up the fronts of the legs. Letting this be what it is for you today. And when you're ready, sit nice and tall. We're gonna come back to our tabletop position. So go ahead and get onto all fours, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips. From here, we're gonna go into a little bit of a flow for child's pose rest position. So let your knees come wider than your hips, so they're no longer underneath the hips, but a little bit wider. And then bring your big toes together behind you so that they're reaching towards each other, if not touching. Sink your bottom back towards your heels. And then lift back up into tabletop position. And go ahead and repeat this. Sinking the bottom back towards the heels. And then lifting the bottom back up over the thighs. Feel that stretch through the outer glutes, outer thighs, inner thighs, hips, as you let your bottom sink towards your heels. You feel a little bit of relief as you come back to your tabletop position. You choose how far you go. You choose how fast you move. You can exhale as you sink your bottom back. Inhale as you rise back to your tabletop. And when you're ready, go ahead and reset, come to your tabletop position. We're gonna get into a flow that focuses on our spine and shoulders. So from your standard tabletop position, hands underneath shoulders, knees come back underneath hips instead of being wide. We're just gonna flow through cat-cow very briefly once again. So start with a flat back, head in line with your spine and a big inhale. And when you're ready to exhale, you're going into cat, spine up. Push your palms down into the ground, tug your chin to your chest. And when you need to inhale, your belly will go low, shoulders down and back, collarbone wide, nose forward. Cycling through this with your breath. When you're ready, come back to a flat back or a neutral spine. We are going to thread the needle. We're going to start with a flow and then we'll hold it. So right arm is going to raise out directly to the right of the right shoulder. So you're balanced on your left hand and your knees. And then you're going to take that right hand and reach it towards the ceiling, opening your chest to the right. And then you're going to thread that right arm. So thread the needle, right arm goes between the left arm and the left thigh, bringing the right shoulder towards the ground, right ear towards the ground. And as you reach, that right palm can reach towards the ceiling as the arm rests towards the ground. And we'll flow through that. Right elbow or right arm reaches right and up to the ceiling. And then flows through, threads the needle. Right arm becomes between left arm and left thigh. Shoulder goes towards the ground. Repeat. Flowing through here. On your next one, hold that, thread the needle. So the right shoulder comes to the ground, right ear towards the ground. The hips stay high. Maybe the left elbow has a bend in it to allow your right shoulder to sink lower. The palm of the right hand faces up. Fingertips of the right hand are reaching to the left. Hips stay high. And with this reach of the right arm through to the left side, you get an opening through the spine, between the shoulder blades, maybe an extra stretch through the right shoulder. Breathe here. With your hips high, you might also feel a stretch through the glutes, the backs of the legs. Breathing and releasing. Keep breathing, and when you're ready, you can come back to that tabletop position. And we will go ahead and go back into a brief cat-cow on your hands and knees just to get the spine back in line, ready to rumble as we flow through on the other side. So a couple cat-cows. And when you are feeling ready, left arm will reach out to the left of the left shoulder into a T. Then you'll open that left arm towards the ceiling and you'll flow through, thread the needle. Left arm reaches between right arm and right thigh to bringing the left shoulder towards the ground, left ear towards the ground, and repeat. Left arm reaches out and up and threads between the right arm and leg. Spine mobility, shoulder mobility. Feel the chest open as you reach the arm out and up. And on your next one, you can hold that thread the needle position. So the left arm comes towards the ground or left shoulder touches the ground if you can get it there. Left ear comes towards the ground or touches the ground. You can have a bend in that right arm to help you get a little bit lower through the left shoulder. Hips stay high. Reach those left fingertips energetically to the right. Palm faces up. Breathe. Allow the space between the shoulder blades to open up. Feel that stretch through the back of the left shoulder. Maybe with those hips high, you feel a stretch through the glutes, the backs of the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs. Breathing and releasing here, taking your time, sinking into it. And when you're ready, you can unwind. Come back to your all fours. And we are going to take it into puppy pose. So From your tabletop position, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath hips, you're gonna keep your hips high and you're gonna walk your hands forward, bringing your chest and your forehead towards the ground, palms facing down, fingertips reaching energetically forward, hips stay lifted. Chest and forehead reaching towards the ground. Maybe they touch the ground, maybe they don't. Fingertips reach forward as tailbone pulls towards the ceiling, getting a nice stretch and arch through the spine, opening through the chest. Maybe you feel a stretch through the arms as well. This is puppy pose, if I didn't say that already. This is the stretch that dogs usually do after waking up from a nap or getting ready to play. And when you're ready, you can sink those hips back down towards the heels to come into a child's pose or rest position. So your big toes reaching towards each other, if not touching behind you. Bottom sinks back to your heels. Fingertips continue to reach forward long, chest and forehead towards the ground. Now with your hips a little bit wider and your tailbone low, you're getting a stretch through the hips, inner thighs, outer thighs. Continuing to stretch through the spine, just at a different angle here. Actively pulling the tailbone down and back. And pulling those fingertips forward to get a nice elongation through the spine. Stretch between the shoulder blades. Backs of the arms. Opening through the hips. Breathing here and releasing. Every breath or every exhale comes with a release of tension. And when you're ready, you can slowly let your hips come forward and come to a seated position. We're going to do one final stretch here, focus for the shoulders and spine. You're going to take your hands. There's going to be two options so if this first option is abrasive, there's a second one coming. So take your right arm and your right elbow is going to be in front of your right shoulder. Forearms stacked above the elbow. Fingertips reaching towards the ceiling. Right palm is facing left. So you have a 90-degree L-shaped bend with your elbow directly in front of the shoulder. Then you'll take the left hand and you're going to wrap the left arm underneath the right. So left arm goes underneath the right, and then you bend that left arm so that you're kind of hugging your arms now into your chest, both arms bent, both forearms reaching to the ceiling, both fingertips of the hands reaching towards the ceiling. If from here it's possible to then further that cross, you can touch your palms together. It might be impossible for your body wherever it is, and that's okay. The other option is to take opposite hand to opposite shoulder with your arms bent and give yourself a hug. That's going to open up through the back and open up through the backs of the shoulder blades. So either option works great. And release. We're going to restart that, and this time the opposite hand is going to be on top. So the left arm is going to bend to an L shape or 90 degrees. The left elbow is directly in front of the left shoulder. The forearm reaches towards the ceiling, fingertips are up. Left palm faces right. Then you take your right hand and your right arm and you reach it underneath the left arm. Then you bend the right arm to kind of hug those arms in close to your chest. From here, if it's possible, you can touch palms together. That'll increase the twist. If you're not there, give yourself a hug. Switch which arm was on top from last time. You're opening up through the back, the upper back, and the backs of the shoulders here. This is called eagle arms. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and release that. We'll go into our second flow, now focused on the hips and hamstrings. So go ahead and find your seated position with legs extended long in front of you. We're going to start with a forward fold. Hands by your sides and a nice big inhale. As you inhale, reach your arms out to the sides and up over your head. And as you exhale, you'll hinge forward or reach those fingertips towards your toes. If they land among your knees, your shins, your ankles, that's okay. Just reaching as far as you can until you feel a nice stretch through the back of the entire body. Heels to tailbone, tailbone through the crown of the head. Stretching out behind the ankles, the calves, the hamstrings, behind the thighs, the glutes. Relaxing your shoulders down and back. Let your shoulder blades separate. And we're going to be here for a while. Just breathe. With every inhale, you set your intention. With every exhale, you release tension. Let your body sink into the stretch. On your next inhale, really try to hold that release and open space for more release with the next exhale. If you need to come out of it and then come back into it, you can. Maybe you get a little bit further into your stretch, hinge forward a little bit more, reach further towards your toes or past your toes. Letting your head hang. And when you're ready, you can slowly release your hands, sit up nice and tall. We're gonna change the angle of this stretch by letting our feet come out wide. So now, instead of your legs long directly in front of you, open your legs so they're wider than your hips. You choose how wide is wide. From here, we're gonna take a wide-legged forward fold. So go ahead and reach those fingertips forward into the empty space between your legs. Walk your hands forward as far as you can, feeling that stretch open up through the outer hips, inner thighs, relaxing your shoulders down and back. You choose here if it feels better to have your reach with a flat back, or if it feels better to round through your spine as you reach. Breathing here. If you ever need to release and come back into it, you can. Getting a little bit deeper with every exhale. Maybe you feel a stretch through your spine if you actively reach forward with the fingertips. Maybe that doesn't serve you today, so you don't reach as full with the fingertips, but you focus on stretch through the lower body. Make it your own. Let it be what it needs to be for you. you're ready, you can walk your hands back towards you and we'll come into a butterfly. So for our butterfly, the bottoms of our feet come together to touch in front of us. So right in front of the hips, bottoms of the feet touch. That's going to make our knees bend, and we encourage those knees to fall right and left as far as they will go. So you have options here, and I'll walk through them. The distance of your heels to your hips will change the stretch. So the closer your heels come to you, the more of a stretch you'll feel. The further the heels from you, the more it'll lighten up for you. If you hinge forward at the waist, it'll increase your stretch through the inner thighs, hips. If you sit up tall, it'll add a little bit more relief for you. And then the knees. The farther the knees point out left and right, the more you'll feel an opening. And if you lift them up at just an inch or so, that'll give you a little bit more relief. So you can play with those three things. What we're targeting here is inner outer thighs, hips, maybe even the spine if you do choose that hinge forward. You can hinge forward with a flat back or add a nice round curve to the spine, whatever's going to feel good to you as you breathe here and release tension. Nice big inhales through the nose, exhales through the mouth. As you're exhaling, really just find that extra release through the muscles. Let go of the tension. And when you're ready, you can sit up a little bit taller as we transition to a half butterfly stretch. So take your right leg and extend it out long. You can open it wider than the hip if you'd like, and the bottom of your left foot will come to touch the inside of the right thigh. Half butterfly here. And we'll add a little bit of a rotation, a side bend here. So let your right arm fall long down by your right leg, maybe by your knee, your shin, your core, your thigh. And then your left hand is going to reach out to the side and then up over the head to the right. So you're elongating through the left side body, feeling a stretch from left pinky through the left arm, left shoulder, outside, left side of the body through the left hip, while continuing to stretch through the lower body with that left leg still in butterfly. Maybe you point your nose towards your left elbow. Feel the change and the stretch through the left side body if you do so. And we'll add a rotation. So we're gonna lose the side bend there, and we're gonna take both of our hands and we're gonna reach them towards our right toes or our right ankle, right shin. And then your nose is gonna point towards your right knee. So your shoulders are level with each other now. Chest points down, nose to right knee. And this stretch more so emphasizes the stretch through the back of the right leg instead of the side body, just changing it up a little bit. Think about letting that left knee still fall heavy to the left. So you continue to feel a stretch through the front of the left hip as we stretch and focus on releasing through the back of the right leg. And release that. We're going to switch sides. Left leg goes out straight and long. Go a little bit wider than the left hip if you'd like. And then the bottom of the right foot touches the inside of the left thigh. Right knee bends out to the right. We'll take it to that side bend half butterfly first. So left arm long, down by the left leg. Right arm reaches up and overhead to the left, stretching through the right side of the body. Nose points up towards the right elbow. Feeling the stretch from the right pinky all the way through the right arm, down to the outside of the right rib cage through the torso, and to the right hip. If you point your nose towards that elbow, really you can notice how that changes the stretch. Breathing into this once again. And when you're ready, we can take that rotation. So instead of side body, we focus on the back of the left leg. So both hands can reach towards the left toes. Shoulders are level with each other once again. And the nose points to the left knee. Feeling a stretch through the back of that left leg, while still letting that right knee fall to the right as heavy as possible to keep that opening through the front of the right hip. And we stretch through the spine. Releasing tension with your exhales. And you can go ahead and release that. You're going to extend both legs straight in front of you now. So sit tall, both legs straight in front of you, long in front of the hips. Go ahead and take your right foot and plant it either inside the inside the left knee or outside the left knee. So the right foot can stay in front of the right hip or it can cross over outside the left knee. That's your choice. The more intense stretch is stepping the right foot outside the left knee. Then from there, you'll start to feel an opening through the right side glutes. You can go ahead and take a twist of your chest to the right. Right hand can press on the ground behind the right hip. And if you'd like, the left hand can either hug the right knee in close towards the midline, or you can take your right or your left elbow and try to hook it outside the right knee or the right thigh to help you get your chest to twist open to the right further. And this is opening up through the hip and glutes, twisting through the spine. Breathing here. And you can release that. Send the right leg out long, straight, and we'll switch sides. So left foot can plant inside the right knee or up and over the outside of the right knee. The outside of the right knee is a little bit more intense of a stretch. You choose which option you are gonna find most helpful today. Left hand can reach behind the left hip and just support you as your chest twists to face left. You can either take your right hand and hug that left knee in closer to you, or you can take your right elbow and hook it outside of the left knee or thigh to help get that chest to twist further to the left. And feel a stretch and opening through the outside of the left hip and glutes. Twist through the spine. When you're ready, you can go ahead and release that. We're going to get into our last flow here, focused on the lower body and a little bit more hip work as well. You're going to go ahead and come to a lying position on your back. Once you're on your back, take both feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. From here, I want you to take the outside of your right ankle and rest it on top of your left thigh. So that means right knee will end up pointing right. And the higher the right ankle is towards the knee, the more of a stretch we'll end up getting here once we're fully in. So this is stop number 1. You can stay here if you'd like. If you feel a nice opening through the hip, the glute, you can hang out here. If you want more, you can take your hands and you can lift that left foot off the ground, hug the left thigh to your chest or towards your chest. Doesn't have to be to your chest. Towards your chest, and that'll open up the stretch through the back of the right glute or outside of the right glute a little bit more, keeping the right ankle rested on top of the left thigh. Head gets to stay rested here. Reclined pigeon is what this is called. I'm not sure where they get pigeon. I don't know if pigeons are known to cross their legs or pretzel their legs out. And go ahead and release that. So your left foot can come back to the ground if it did lift, right foot back to the ground, and then extend your legs long on the ground, still laying on your back. Your hands can be by your sides. You can clasp your fingers together and rest them on your chest or your ribs. Whatever is going to work for you here is fine. Pressing your hands into the ground outside the hip might give you a little bit more mobility and rotation, but find what's going to work for you. Cross your right leg over your left. So you're still lying down, your legs are still long, your right ankle is just crossed over your left ankle. And then from here, you're just gonna let your hips tilt side to side. So lift your left hip a centimeter or so off the ground, drop it down, lift your left hip a centimeter or so off the ground and drop it down. Getting a little bit of core work here, just a little bit of mobility through the hips, loosening them up. And then when you're ready, you can uncross your legs, bring your feet flat to the floor, and we're gonna do reclined pigeon, stretching out through the left side this time. So feet are flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. The outside of the left ankle rests on top of the right thigh. The closer the ankle is towards the right knee, the more the stretch can be activated here. Left knee is pointed out towards the left to allow this to happen. This is the first stop. This could be your home base. If you want to take it further, you can lift your right foot off the ground so that you can hug that left or the right thigh in closer to your chest. Clasp your hands behind the thigh. And that's going to intensify the stretch quite a bit, opening up through the back of the left glute and the side of the left glute, the hip. Reclined pigeon. Head stays rested this whole time. You're ready, you can let the right foot come back down to the ground, uncross the legs, and send the legs long on the ground in a nice long line, straight legs. Cross the left ankle over the right ankle. Again, your hands can be kind of folded on your torso, or you can push them down into the ground outside the hips. And we're just going to rock our hips back and forth, lifting one hip an inch or two off the ground, then lifting the other. Doesn't have to be a huge movement, just a little bit of mobility. And from here, release that, and we're gonna come into our twist. So go ahead, take your right knee to your chest and hug it in nice and tight. Your left foot can either be flat on the ground or it can go long on the ground. And And this will start to open up, stretch through the back of the right glutes. Breathe here. If and when you're ready, you can open the right knee outside the right rib cage slightly, opening up through the inner thigh, outer hip. And go ahead, and when you're ready, we'll take it to our twist. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, guide the right knee up and over to the left side of the body, peeling the right hip off the ground. The right arm goes long to a T shape, reaching long outside the right shoulder, nose points right. The right knee only has to go as far as feels good to you. It certainly does not have to touch on the left side of the ground. It can be lifted. And you're feeling a glute stretch, a spine twist, a shoulder and chest opener. And you can unwind, come back through center, and hug both knees to your chest to give your spine a little bit of a reset. Maybe you rock side to side, maybe you don't. And then we'll keep our left knee in, hug your left knee into your chest. Right foot can go flat to the floor, or you can extend your right leg long on the ground. Feeling an opening through the back of the glute to start. And maybe on your next exhale, you invite the left knee wider than the left rib cage, opening up through the inner thigh, outer hip slightly, just enough so you feel that stretch change for you. And our right hand comes to the outside of the left knee, guides the left knee up and over towards the right side of the body, feeling the left hip off the ground. Left arm goes long to a T outside the left shoulder, nose points left, stretching out through the glutes, the spine, and opening up through the shoulders and chest. Nose points left if I didn't say that already. And when you're ready, you can unwind from that and bring both feet flat to the floor, knees to the ceiling. We're going to take it to a half happy baby. So hug your right knee to your chest. And then I want you to keep the right knee to the chest and keep the bend in your knee as you face your right foot, the bottom of the right foot to the ceiling, upwards. You can either take your hands and hug the thigh towards your chest, or you can take your right hand to the instep or outside of the right foot and just hug it in so the knee ends up having to drive wide outside the frame of the body towards the ground with the bottom of the foot still facing the ceiling. Nice bend in that right leg, opening up through the hips, back of the thigh. The left foot stays flat to the floor, knee to the ceiling. And you can release that. Right foot comes flat to the floor, knee to the ceiling, and then left knee will come towards the chest. And then you can either take your hands and hug the left knee in towards your chest, or you can take it a step further. The bottom of the left foot faces the ceiling. Left hand reaches to the instep or outstep of the right foot and pulls that right foot closer to you to force the knee into a deep stretch through the back of the leg, a little bit wider than the rib cage. And When you're ready, you can release that, and we're going to take it into the full happy baby. So go ahead and bring both knees towards your chest, with the knees bent towards the chest. Face the bottoms of the feet to the ceiling. And you have the option to take one hand around the back of each thigh and hug your knees in close to your chest, maybe a little bit wider than the frame of the body. Or you have the option to take your hands to the outsides or the insides of the feet and grab those feet and hug them in or draw them in closer to you, forcing the knees outside the frame of the body and opening up through the inner thighs, hips, back of the legs. And when you're ready, you can release that and come to your comfortable position. So that could be anything from laying down, that could be seated, wherever you want to be for this final piece, you can be. So find that spot for you, find that position for yourself. Take a couple of deep breaths. And we're going to go through a little body relaxation exercise. We're going to focus all of our attention on our toes to start, and we're going to work our way up the body as we go. From your toes, I want you to wiggle your toes. I want you to move them. I want you to scrunch them. I want you to release them. I want you to spread them wide. I want you to make all the movements with your toes you can possibly think of, expending all their energy. Now from your toes, I want you to release those, relax the toes, and you're going to move to the ankles. Again, ankles are going to move. Maybe they'll circle. Maybe they will flex and point the feet, expending all the energy there. And you're going to move up to your shins and your calves next, letting the ankles release. Flex your calves. Activate through the leg muscles in any way you know how. Tensing through the back of the lower leg and releasing. And work your way up to your thighs. Lower parts of your leg all release. And you squeeze through the thighs, the tops of the thighs, the hamstrings, the backs of the thighs, everything that you can activate in any possible way. Tense. Get all of the energy out. And release. You come to your hips and your glutes, your bottom. Tensing and releasing. Getting all the energy out. Find stillness as you float to your torso, your abs. Pull your belly button to your spine. Release. Flex through the core. Engage the muscles in your back. Everything involved with the torso here. Activating as much as you can. Take a nice big exhale as you release to your fingertips. Fingertips. You spread them wide, you crunch them, you curl them into your palms, you open them. Maybe pretend you're playing piano. Move on to your wrist. Releasing the energy through the fingertips, focusing on wrist movement here. And working up to your forearms and your full arms, biceps, triceps, the entire arm. Moving, flexing, extending. Any way you know how. And releasing as we bring the attention to our shoulders. Maybe you shrug your shoulders, maybe you do shoulder circles. Release that, go to your neck. Focusing on the neck. Take a nice big exhale as you release, and you move to your face. Scrunching your face, maybe opening and closing the jaw, making silly faces. Release that. And as you exhale, expend all the energy that's left through the top of your head, releasing, floating, melting away. Take a couple more deep breaths for you here. As you sit in this relaxed state, feel all of the tension removed from your body. Almost as if you're floating where you are at in this very moment. Feeling weightless. Take one more deep breath for yourself. Thank you for joining our deep stretch. I am going to stop our recording.